Ferrari has just lived through the kind of weekend every top team fears: a clean double DNF for Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton. It flattened momentum, morale, and whatever was left of optimism. The early romance around Hamilton in red already feels distant. The grand project, the investment of time, energy, and reputation, has not yet paid dividends, and the fanbase can feel the weight of that. Hamilton is still searching for rhythm inside a car and a culture that are new to him, and the results are testing his patience. Yet, the calendar keeps moving. The rules reset is coming, and buried in the wreckage of a bad run, there is still a potential escape hatch. If 2026 gives him a platform, he will fight. If it does not, the exit door is not only imaginable, it is suddenly practical. And if he walks, Ferrari may already have the next name circled in bold. Hamilton knows when to call time. 7 titles, the records, the comebacks, the craft he has lived through every cycle a driver can. And at 40, he does not owe this sport another lap to prove anything. He arrived at Ferrari with that familiar spark, but long slumps are unforgiving. His comments before and after the summer break told their own story. He spoke of wanting to rediscover joy in the middle of a season that has given him very little of it. He asked the question that cuts through any paddock spin. If you are not enjoying what you do, why are you still doing it? That is not theater. That is a professional questioning whether the reward still matches the cost. He is brutally honest with himself. When a driver of that caliber uses words like useless, even in the heat of disappointment, it shows where the bar sits in his own mind. Next year's regulations could flip the board and give him a fresh handle on the car. They could also confirm the chemistry isn't there. Ferrari will hope for the first scenario. They may quietly prepare for the second. And this is where the most valuable insurance policy in modern Formula One, Max Verstappen, may come in. Red Bull weathered months of noise about 2026. Mercedes tested the locks on every door. And in the end, Verstappen said he is staying for next year. That sounded solid enough. It also left the door to 2027 cracked open. Red Bull are building their own power unit for the first time in this era. And everyone understands what that implies. If the package works, the status quo survives. If it misses, even narrowly, the equation changes fast. For a driver who measures seasons and wins in titles, there are clauses, thresholds, and summer break checkpoints baked into the fine print. The short version is simple. If Max is not where he needs to be in the standings when those trigger dates arrive, options appear. And when options appear, Ferrari becomes attractive. Mercedes tried to make room, but the public line has settled on continuity with George Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli. That stabilizes Brackley and cools speculation in the short term, but it does not remove Verstappen's leverage. McLaren looks set with Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, which makes them a less likely landing spot for the next shuffle. Aston Martin lingers in the background with infrastructure, ambition, and the potential pull of Adrian Newey if timelines converge. Yet, if Hamilton steps away at the end of 2026, rather than taking any option for 2027, the red car instantly becomes the most compelling seat in the sport. Verstappen would not be walking into a rebuild from zero. He would be walking into a global brand that has reorganized heavily, wants a finishing piece, and can pay for one. The narrative around Verstappen is no longer just about raw speed. It is about control. He spent years building a project in his own image at Red Bull, and the last few seasons made him the reference point every weekend. That level of dominance never lasts forever. This year already showed that even his margins can shrink when rivals get their act together. It does not mean the crown has slipped. It does mean he can see a future where the path of least resistance lies somewhere else. He is a father now. He thinks in longer arcs, and he is curious about competition outside Formula One. Those are not exit lines, they are perspective. The message underneath is consistent. He wants a clean fight, a tight, competent operation, and a car that matches his standards. If politics, penalties, or technical uncertainty muddy the waters too much, he will look elsewhere for clarity. That is where Ferrari's current headache could become tomorrow's opening. If Hamilton's search for joy comes up empty through 2026, he could put the helmet on the shelf with the dignity he earned. Ferrari would then need a leader who carries speed, aggression, and credibility into a new rules era.